Learn English through story about unlocking creativity through unconventional hobbies. When Adrian first admitted to himself that he felt stuck creatively, he did not know where to begin changing his life. His job required new ideas every week, yet his imagination felt tired and overworked. He spent most evenings scrolling through predictable content, hoping for inspiration that never truly arrived. One afternoon, while walking home from work, he passed a small community center offering unusual classes. A handwritten sign caught his eye. It listed hobbies that seemed odd and unfamiliar, such as stone balancing, urban foraging, experimental cooking, and recycled art sculpting. Something inside him stirred with curiosity. Without thinking too long, he signed up for a weekend class in stone balancing. The idea felt strange, but something about it intrigued him. On the first day, he arrived at a quiet riverside where the instructor encouraged everyone to gather rocks of different shapes. Adrian watched as people stacked stones slowly, adjusting angles and testing stability. He attempted to build his own, and each time the stones collapsed, he felt a mixture of frustration and amusement. Yet after an hour of trial and error, something unexpected happened. He stopped focusing on the outcome and began paying attention to the process. His thoughts became calmer, his movements more deliberate, and he discovered a quiet sense of concentration he had not felt in years. The moment one of his small stone towers finally stood without falling, he felt a gentle wave of satisfaction. It was not the beauty of the sculpture that mattered. It was the feeling of presence. He realized that creativity did not grow under pressure. It grew in moments when the mind wandered freely. That simple experience opened a door he did not know he needed. The next hobby Adrian explored was experimental cooking using ingredients he had never used before. He joined a small group that met once a week to create dishes without following recipes. At first, he felt confused by the lack of structure. He mixed flavors that seemed incompatible and created dishes that did not always taste good. But he also made surprising combinations that felt bold and exciting. One evening, while preparing a dish with citrus, herbs, and roasted vegetables, he noticed how his senses awakened. The colors inspired him. The scents lifted his mood. The sounds of chopping and sizzling filled the kitchen with energy. Cooking became a form of creativity he had overlooked. It reminded him that creativity thrives in environments where exploration is encouraged and mistakes are welcomed. After several weeks, Adrian tried urban foraging. Guided by an expert, he wandered through parks and alleys identifying edible plants and learning how forgotten spaces hid unexpected resources. This hobby taught him to observe details he had ignored for years. The shape of leaves, the texture of bark, the smell of soil. The city felt alive in a new way. Foraging changed the way he perceived ordinary surroundings. Motivated by these discoveries, Adrian enrolled in a recycled art workshop. Participants created sculptures from discarded objects, turning trash into design. He noticed that people approached creativity with different perspectives, and each person's work revealed a unique way of thinking. Adrian constructed a sculpture from old wires, broken tiles, and bottle caps. The process challenged him to see value where he previously saw nothing. Through these experiences, Adrian realized that unconventional hobbies activate parts of the mind that everyday routines leave untouched. Creativity grows when the mind breaks patterns, enters new environments, and engages with unfamiliar materials. As months passed, Adrian felt increasingly inspired. His imagination felt brighter, and new ideas flowed naturally. He noticed that creativity was not a mysterious talent. It was a skill strengthened by curiosity, play, and exploration. One of his most memorable experiences occurred during a late-night session of improvised storytelling. A friend invited him to join a small group that created stories together without planning. Someone started with a simple sentence, and every person added one line. The story shifted wildly from humor to adventure to mystery. Adrian felt a joyful freedom in contributing his own ideas without judgment. This activity reminded him of childhood moments when creativity came naturally through play. Another unexpected moment happened during a kite-making workshop. Surrounded by bright paper, bamboo sticks, and fabric, he felt a childlike excitement. After building his kite, he ran across an open field as it lifted into the sky. Watching it dance with the wind, he understood something profound. Creativity expands when people allow themselves to experience life with openness and wonder. Adrian also began journaling about each hobby he tried. He documented how each activity changed his thinking, improved his focus, or sparked new ideas. He noticed connections between the hobbies and his work. Problems that once felt difficult became easier to solve because his mind learned to approach challenges with flexibility.